thanks for watching this. I've used some of this footage before, and it's because it's kind of like a time lapse. I wanted to show you rooting these cold hardy figs from Broomtown, but I got to start somewhere, and I wanted to show you kind of the progression through here. I've been to the plant that I want to propagate. I've cut my pieces off. I sized them and cut them into the lengths that I want to use. We'll call them sign wood. And I'm going to wrap them with paraffin so they don't dry out. And then eventually I'm going to put them in a wet paper towel, not dripping wet, so I don't want them to mold, but I want them to stay moist. So I'm going to put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in the refrigerator till I'm ready to use them. There's a time limit on that. They can't stay in the refrigerator forever, but 3 or 4 months works pretty good. It's there's a disconnect in the timing. See, it's too early to try to root them, but if you wait till it's time to root them, then what you can collect off the plant is gone through when it's not good. So the trick in this is to cut all these pieces of new growth that you want to root and store them in cold, not freezing, but cold. That's why the refrigerator's good, because it's like 35 degrees, and it kind of puts them in, to sleep. And then, like right here, I'm showing you all those different sign woods. There's some grapes, and there's some pears, there's some apples, and then there's some figs. So this is my spring project here. This is the first time that I've ever used this. The brand name's Dip and Grow, but it's a liquid hormone as opposed to powder that I've used before, or gel. I kind of like this stuff because I can change the strength based on what it is I'm rooting, a hard cut or a green cut or whatever. And it makes it nice to be able to choose what you want, and maybe like on a hardwood cut, you might want a little stronger solution. We're going to see how that plays out, but I'm excited to use this for the first time. I pack these and then put them in the refrigerator until I'm ready to root. And I don't know what the hard and fast rule on that is. I don't think you're supposed to leave them in the refrigerator long, but sometimes, life gets in the way. They seem to hold really, really well if you do a couple of things. Keep them sealed and keep them moist. And you can see here where I've wrapped them in paper towels, not dripping paper towels, but moist paper towels. And they look good. So that's the first step, is to keep them as fresh as you can while you're storing them. And then I paraffin taped. You've probably seen some others in there where I got them and they had waxed them. It doesn't matter. The purpose of that is to seal the cutting so it doesn't dry out. Everything's about not dying and not drying out. And if I can get this tape off here, I'll show you. These have been in the refrigerator for longer than I want to say. Probably, this is almost April. They've been in the refrigerator for about 3 months, and they're nice and fresh. So these should do pretty good. Get them a little root hormone, and we'll follow them along as they're growing. These are the I don't know the variety. That's the ones that I said in the video are cold hardy, because I know they've been up there at that house for 100 years. That house is older than that. That house is old, and I'm 60 something, and I know that fig tree has been there 60 something. So My best guess is that fig bush is 100 plus. But first time I've ever tried to replicate it. We'll see how it goes. It may be a bust or it may be great. We shall see. Technically, I want to talk about exactly what I'm doing here because it is procedural in nature. Even though I wax the ends of them or put paraffin on the ends of them, you see me snap that end off of it, and it's just to get the newest, freshest wood that I got available. Would it have been okay to not done that? Probably, but while you're there and you got clippers in your hands, you might as well try it. The other things that I'm doing there specifically is scraping the camden layer off of that fig, and I'm doing that so that I can get that rooting hormone in more places than if you didn't do that. When you scar that bark, if you will, and then you paint it with that hormone, you're getting root hormone everywhere, in the bottom, the top, and I kind of let it soak before we stick them in the ground. Hey everybody, and meanwhile in Broomtown, today I want to repot some figs that we rooted. I don't know if you saw the video earlier about the really cold hardy fig bush that I got the cuttings off of, and then we did another video of putting them in the hormone and getting them rooted. Well, needless to say, they've rooted and they've put out, and no way will I ever need this many, but that doesn't mean you can't give them away. A lot of people like figs, but I'm going to pot up some to kind of grow off. Once they get to this stage, they're pretty packed in there, and I imagine that the roots from one don't know the roots from the other, so we're going to give them a little more room, see if we can't get somebody to where we can, maybe put them in the ground later. Thanks. I'm going to try to get these out and empty this without tearing anybody up. That may be hard. I might have should have cut the pot, but I'm hoping they'll slide out and get real close, and you can see the roots. It appears that we have no shortage of roots on these, which is wonderful. I mean, I've never tried to root this variety before, so I really didn't know what to expect, but I'd say that was a success. I'm going to take this little guy, put him in his own pot, try to keep him at that same level that he was in the ground when he rooted. So this takes a lot of soil, but that's good. That just means that it's he's got room to grow. I may have said it before, but in case I didn't, I bought this little green mat off of the Amazon sometime back. I don't remember when. It's been handy, especially doing this, because I'm not the neatest person in the world, and this keeps you from wasting all of your soil, media, whatever you want to call it, all over the ground. Have to try to pick it up, figure out how to get it. But anyway, the mat's neat. That's kind of where we're looking for. That may not be quite as deep as it used to be, but I think it'll be okay. We'll do a few of these and move along. I'm still really impressed with these roots. Never imagined that it would be this easy or this fast. We can go back and check. I don't remember. But I bet they hadn't been in the dirt a month, maybe a month. So that's a lot of growth for a month. Pack it down. Try to not have any voids. You know, roots don't like air. So in addition to this, packing it, don't miss the step at the end of watering them in thoroughly. Just let them have it for the first few times. What you're doing is taking the air pockets up out of the dirt. All right, I'll do some more of these and I won't make you watch it, but I'll be back in a few minutes. I guess it'd be a good idea to talk about how to choose 5 or however how many you want out of this. Obvious the roots. The more roots, the better. If you look at where the roots came out, it's where I scored with the knife before we dipped them in root tone. I always assumed that roots would come from the bottom, and you can look in here and see that's not the case. They came from the side. Here you go. I told you I'd forget. I talked about it, but I didn't show you, and I just want to show you. I'm gonna flood these jokers for a couple of days and then go back to a regular watering routine. But you saw how I disturbed those roots, and I don't want these guys to, I don't want to suffer, I don't want one to die, all the above. And I'll keep doing that as they drain out of the bottom. I'll make sure that they're really, really hydrated. But that's enough for today. Thanks for watching. See you later. Hey, thanks for watching. And if you would, take a second to hit the subscribe button for us. It helps us a lot. I appreciate it.